Hello and welcome to episode 33 of the Clutch Report. It's been a weekend where teams go back to back, starting off with RCB, title number 2, smashing the Gujarat Titans. Very convincing win, I'd say. Karak, do you agree?
Yeah, man, I think Sala Cup Namdu 2, because, I don't know what is 2 in Canada, but I thought
Yeah,
that was, yeah, do. I thought that was an easy game, like, I just think that bowling attack is just so experienced, right? Bhuvneshwar,
yeah.
and you have Hazelwood, and then you have that kid, Rasik, who's 25 years old. I think all of them just bowled really well, and surprising to see Gujarat just choke that way because, I expected them to bat a little bit better. But honestly, it just felt like just an easy game for RCB. It just looked like they were winning from the second over. So, also from a Bangalore perspective, because you're a Bangalore boy, my friend, what are the feelings there? I know you're a fake RCB fan, but I like to get some of your thoughts just on RCB in general.
Uh, yeah, deep down, of course, I am a KKR fan at heart, but being a Bangalore boy, I do have a soft spot for them. I just felt like beginning of the season only they were the team to beat. Considering how they performed last year, their balance of the side has been so good. And like you said, with the bowlers, man, Bhuvaneshwar and Hazelwood have just been so consistent. I think they've picked up 20 wickets each, or maybe more than that. I think Bhuvaneshwar is 24, maybe. So just the consistency with which they're bowling and even Krunal Pandya, man, like I feel like he doesn't get talked about too much. Five-time IPL champion now, 3 times with Mumbai Indians, and he has performed with the bat and ball. Because I don't think Bangalore's had that frontline spinner right this season, and Krunal Pandya has done the job for them. And like you said, Rasik also it's just been a team where everybody has contributed when they need to. Even if you look at that top order, Phil Salt was there in the beginning of the season, did his bit, unfortunately got injured. Then they tried their hand with Bethel, which didn't really work. But then you had Venkatesh Iyer to come in and, save the day. So everybody in that team has chipped in different games and well rounded by, of course, Virat Kohli, of course. Ravi Shastri saying it, Virat Kohli finishes off in style. I mean, that's the perfect way to end the tournament for them. But the one man that deserves the most credit for me is always going to be Rajat Patidar, unsung hero for that team. That man, it feels like he's come out of nowhere. And now he's going to be Bangalore's very own, going to be treated like that. So I think he deserves a lot of credit for the way he's managed such a superstar franchise, right? And to do it back to back, hats off, bro.
No, no, absolutely. I think it's a fairy tale start also to his cricket career. Like, obviously he's not young, but then imagine, like, being that player who's come into RCB because of someone getting injured and then giving the range to be like, listen, captain this team of superstars and then going on and winning 2 in a row and to do it in a
Yeah.
way that, I think Rajat Patidar with that hairstyle, kind of like very reminiscent of bloody Dhoni from his Chennai
Yeah.
Super Kings days, because he's grown his hair and he looks so calm. But also, like, I just want to put a couple of thoughts only on Venkatesh Iyer. Like, when he came on, right, like you rightly said, 187 strike rate, came on, started whacking. Against
Yeah.
Punjab in Dharamshala, he did the same thing. Even today, even yesterday against Gujarat Titans, hammies were blown out. Still,
Yeah.
just kept whacking the ball. So I think it's all about intent. And also, credit goes to just the backroom stuff also. Andy Fla, Bo, Dinesh Karthik, all of them, I thought, got
Yeah.
their auction strategy on point. Like, it was just so nice to see everyone chipping in at the right time. And it's not like they peaked at the right time. It just felt like they were on that peak throughout, and
Yeah.
kind of looked like, very comfortable win for RCB.
Yeah, they've consistently dominated throughout the tournament. They had a few losses here and there, but largely, like I said earlier, just like each player in that team has put their hand up at various times of the tournament. And yesterday in a game against Gujarat, where, that team is so top heavy, they have been so reliant on Sai Sudarshan and Shubman Gill. I think I saw a stat that in this season, in I think only three or maybe 4 games, have the top two got out in the power play, and I think 3 of those games have been against RCB.
RCB.
So, and they have lost, I think, all those 3 games. So it just goes to show how reliant they were on Gill and Sudarshan. Butler never really got going this season. Washington chipped in a bit here and there, but they were just too reliant. Their bowlers performed for them. Gujarat, I think Rabada was great. Siraj did his job. Rashid Khan got better towards the end of the season, but they were just so dependent. I think Gill and Sudarshan got maybe 700 runs each, which is phenomenal seasons for them. But they will need to fix that middle order next year and hope that there'll be more contribution from that end. With RCB, once those two wickets were gotten, once Hazelwood and Bhuvaneshwar did their job, I mean, I feel like the job was pretty much done there and then. But I think we should talk about the IPL overall in general this season also. What have you made of the man Vaibhav Suryavanshi? Could not, I mean, every award he picked up yesterday.
Man, Shiv, when I was 15 years old, I was busy watching Pokemon and Beyblade, at 5 to 5:30 and 5:30 to 6.
Are you sure
And
that's
then
what
you
you were
have this.
watching?
Man, come on. No, at this moment, I'm just watching this guy, and I have no words. He's at 97 and 96 in a playoff game. His strike rate is around 238. Scored 775 runs, hit 72 sixes, won everything except the purple cap. I think you should just make him bowl next. He might win the purple cap too. So I think it's I would say, people would say it's a breakthrough season. I would say no. I think it's the season where we all stand up, applaud, and just make sure that we take care of this young kid because, this guy is going places. Nurture, don't let him into anything early, and just make sure that this guy gets in at least to play till 28, 30, 31. I think we have
Yeah,
not a superstar. I think we have the next best thing in cricket. And he's 15
yeah.
years old, Shiv. Jesus. Oof.
Yeah. I mean, it's an incredible story. Like you said, at 15, we were just like dreaming of things that he's doing right now. And just the stats that you mentioned, 72 sixes in a single IPL season is ridiculous. I think the next best you were telling me earlier was that Chris Gale had done 59. So he's beaten Gale already. The next best this season was 41. So just the difference and the fearless attitude with which he plays the game is just staggering. I was watching Sachin Tendulkar talk about Suryavanshi's game, and he just said that he has incredible wrists, and he's picking up the ball, picking up length, picking up the lines from bowlers so quickly. He's like a second faster than any other batsman, and that's what's like putting him ahead. I'm really intrigued to see how he can do in say red ball cricket, playing test cricket in a 50-over game, like how he molds his game for those formats. I mean, a lot of people have said that, oh, I don't think he can be a test match player, but I disagree. I think if you can mold him, if you can train him, it is possible. But how to balance both, only time will tell, and we can see um, what happens with his career. But man, at 15 years old, if he's doing this, India is blessed. That's all I can say.
But absolutely. And I think also going back to that argument of him just playing outside of India, does he have the tools to play in a beautiful, juicy track in Cape Town or a beautiful, juicy track in Perth? Only time will tell. But at this moment, he looks like a massive superstar. And I just
Yeah,
hope and I just wish he doesn't get injured, doesn't get into drugs, doesn't get into alcohol, and just keeps his head down. Because we all know
yeah.
how hectic it is. You're in the limelight, you won it all. You know how people are out there to get you every time. Just hope he stays away from all of that and just focuses so that when we get a kid or something, we can be like, hey, be like Vaibhav.
Yeah. No, man. Phenomenal tournament for him. But do you want to touch on some of the other teams briefly? Starting with your team, boys, Punjab Kings. Um,
Nah, man. Yeah,
I
man,
mean,
unlucky.
started off really well, but not the best end of the season. But still positives to take, right?
No, no, absolutely. I think, for a team which has a lot of uncapped Indian players, I think the team is heading towards the right direction. Obviously, a final last season, and this year potentially should have been there in the playoffs. I think
Yeah,
unfortunate that Ashdeep obviously was not in great form, and also Marco Jansen not in great form. But I think overall, I just feel like there are some screws to be tightened. I think Ricky will do a fantastic job, hopefully in the auction, to tighten those screws. But I think we should be there up again in the next season. I think we have the potential, and we have Sarpanji, Mr. Shreyas Iyer, who's looking very,
yeah.
very good. And just hopefully, man, hopefully things fall into place. But also, I think
Yeah.
going into another team, I think we should talk about Mumbai Indians. What are your thoughts on them? Where do you think they're going from here? And will Hardik Pandya quit and move on?
I mean, I think it's the biggest disaster of this IPL season. We were all predicting them to definitely finish in the playoffs. Just looking at how many, just like players who played in the World Cup and, dominated in the World Cup and then just couldn't do it for Mumbai Indians. But clearly, as you said, there is something going wrong in that camp, whether it's caused by Hardik, whether it's just a bunch of different things we just don't know. But I'm more or less certain Hardik Pandya will not be at Mumbai Indians next year. I think a return to Gujarat is probably the best idea for him. Whether he gets to be captain there seems unlikely. I think there are plenty of teams that will go for someone like Hardik. But I do not think he should be leading a team. I just don't think it works out. I don't think he's good at managing egos. I think him as a player, as a finisher, as a bowler, just like how he plays for India, if he can replicate that for another IPL franchise, I think things will work out for him. But yeah, this captaincy stint at Mumbai just hasn't worked. And I think they'll be better off without him. And I think he'll be better off without them.
No, no, agreed, agreed. I think Hardik, man, I think the entire team, man, like Surya Kumar has been in shit show of a form. Like, I don't think he's been playing that well for like 2 years. I think we've touched on Surya's form for a while. But again, Hardik, man, like, plays so well in the World Cup and then coming through to the IPL and just a shadow of himself, right? Even Jasprit
Yeah,
Bumrah, we've spoken a lot about him. Even he's been out of sorts. Tilak Verma came
yeah,
in here and there, but he was the only light in the shining armor for them because, he
yeah,
kept, he kept having those innings where, he could hit a 70 or a 80 and get them over the line. He did that against Punjab in Dharmshala. So I think overall a massive reset going to happen in Mumbai. It's going to be interesting to see who they retain, who they don't. Will Rohit Sharma come back into the auction for the first time in a very long time? Only time will tell.
yeah.
But I think they have some problems there.
One last question on the IPL I have to ask you, which is regarding the captain of the champions, Rajat Patidar. Do you think he deserves a place in the Indian T20 side?
Man, again, that Indian T20 side is so stacked, like, just think about this, Shreyas Iyer has still not played in that T20 squad in the last 2 years, he hasn't even been
Yeah,
selected. So, Shreyas Iyer definitely deserves it, but I think Rachit Patidar, if Surya will not be selected, then what will be your lineup? You'll have Sharma, you'll have Samson, you'll have Ishan Kishan, then you can make a case for Rajat Patidar or Shreyas Iyer, and then Rajat, and then Hardik. So we're already so top heavy, but I think it's a very nice question there, Shiv, and only time will tell. But I think he definitely deserves it. I think he deserves to play. I think he's been sensational. I think whenever he comes on, 4 balls in,
yeah,
boom, two sixes. His strike rate is around 175, 180, and that's exactly what you need from your number four. So
yeah.
interesting times for Ajit Agarkar. Fun fact also, Ajit Agarkar actually watched the Punjab versus LSG game in our office at the stadium. It was quiet and, he didn't move for 1.5 hours, but he was watching Priyansh Arya whack the ball. So you never know,
Yeah.
Priyansh, Prab, never know, man. Hmm.
Yeah, there's just such a plethora of like Indian batting talent now with Vaibhav also. Like, who do you drop? Who do you put in? But I definitely think Rajat deserves at least a chance at a squad. We'll have, I mean, there's no T20 World Cup around the corner, but like we will have these small series. So all these people will get their chance, I hope. But moving from one team that did a back-to-back to the other team that did a back-to-back, which is PSG. Allez, bleus. Allez, bleus. And saved all of us, Karak. Arsenal did not do the double. Thank God. All our prayers came through. But how are you feeling on Saturday night after that penalty shootout?
Champions of Europe, you'll never sing that.
Never saying that.
Man, I think firstly, congratulations to PSG. I think well deserved. I think they've been phenomenal. I think just the style of football they've been playing for the last 2 years, incredible, very, very nice, well deserved. And yeah, forget saving football. I just thought that entire game was the perfect plan for Arsenal. Take it to pens and then hope that they get their pens to be scored. But then unfortunately, they fluffed their lines. Eze's penalty was horrendous. I've seen come on, man. Like, you cannot miss a penalty like that. You're stuttering and then you're hitting it somewhere
Yeah.
to the bloody corner flag. And then you have Gabriel. See, I think props to Gabriel, it takes guts to like take the fifth kick. But then, brother, you have Madueke there. You have an attacker there who's ready to take that kick. So the issue potentially was why would Gabriel come and take that kick in the fifth spot? But again, only I think well-deserved victory for PSG. What did you make of the game overall, Shiv?
I mean, I didn't think it was the greatest game, but that comes down to Arsenal just sitting back, right? The fact that they got that early goal, it gave them the opportunity to just soak up pressure, sit back, which I think they did well for large parts. I don't think PSG created a lot of quality opportunities. They also got, I mean, they scored from a penalty, a few half chances here and there, but I think Arsenal did pretty well to nullify them. But I think the fact that they scored so early meant that, they're doing nothing. They just say, oh, we're going to protect this with our dear lives and just hope that we can see this one out. But it's going to be tough when you have a team coming at you, wave after wave of attack. I mean, it's tough to just sustain that, right? So I think that's where Arsenal got it wrong. I think they could have played a bit more, I don't want to say expansive, but could have been braver on the counter attack, committed a few more men forward in those moments, because you do have one of the best defenses in world football right now, right? Arsenal is arguably the best defense in European football. Saliba, Gabriel been immense for them. They had Timber back, of course, didn't start. But essentially, that defense has done their job. Raya also has been phenomenal. So I just thought they could have been more expansive or at least more brave on the counter attack. But I didn't see them put enough men going forward. And I think that cost them in the end because once it went to 1-1, it's just, I mean, penalties is all about holding your nerve, right? And then Eze and Gabriel couldn't do that. And Raya did his job of making a save. He did. He got them back in there. And it didn't look like I forget his name, Safanov, was going to make a save. I think PSG got lucky in the sense that these guys have just missed, right? Because that guy didn't look like he was making a save either. So yeah, overall, not the best game of football, but I'm just glad Arsenal didn't get over the line. But I think it was a little bit of self-destruct because I think they could have been a bit more brave on the ball. What did you think, though?
No, no, I completely agree. And I think, Company made this statement after that game. He said, you either go in full throttle against PSG or you just park the bus completely. There's no in
Yeah,
between with PSG. But then with Arsenal, it just came in too early, right? Like you mentioned before, fifth minute they scored. I just thought that they could have parked that bus a little late. I thought they could have taken that
yeah,
game to PSG because, you know, once you've once you've conceded, right? Like, even PSG would want to score, correct? Because they're not used to
yeah.
conceding in the League One, right? So I just thought that
Mhm.
Arsenal could have taken that opportunity. But again, I think with Arteta, right? I think he did the right thing by just putting all the men behind the ball. And I'm very unfortunate for Mosquera. I thought Mosquera was great till the time he got that yellow, and then
Yeah,
Quisha did what Quisha can do. But again, suicidal tackle, you don't do that. And he was going nowhere, with that ball. There was nobody in the box. There were like four people, but then you know how good Gabriel is. But
yeah,
yeah, overall, I just thought it was a cagey game. It was not a great final, but from a tactical perspective, I thought Arsenal did what they could do, took it to penalties and lost. But I just want to give a shout out to just one man, Daniel Siebert. I thought he was sensational. The referee, I thought he played it perfectly, let the game flow, didn't fall for any of that nonsense tactics of Arsenal trying to fall down every time. Kai Havertz, every time the ball is on top, Kai is just falling. And, I just thought he was incredible. Like, he let the game flow. Saka had a corner Arsenal had a corner in the 45th minute in the injury time. Saka is walking like he's walking in the park, huh? Because he thinks it's the Premier
Mm,
League. I thought Daniel Siebert was spot on there, blowing that whistle like, fuck off, go inside. You're taking too much time. So, yeah, man, it's great to see that kind of officiating. It's been a while since we've seen like great officiating because obviously we come in from a Premier
yeah.
League background. But also there was some debatable calls, Shiv. What did you make of that Saka handball? Do you think that's a pen?
Uh, uh, eh, like you said, debatable kind of like I would not like to see that given as a pen, to be honest. It's like it's ricocheted off his body and fallen onto his arm. I don't think his arm was in a very unnatural position, but like it's not like a deliberate handball. So I don't like to see that given. But at the same time, like if you look at the Madueke decision, I'm happy that wasn't given either. I don't think either of those were penalties. So like you said, I think the referee did a great job. And what was your take though? Did you think either of them were pens?
See, I think in the Champions League, for the Saka handball, we have seen worse given Shiv. Like we have seen like
Yeah,
someone going for a slight tackle and their hand down, and then the ball hits the hand. And in the
yeah,
Champions League, the rules are so different. So I was shocked that the Saka one wasn't given, honestly. But you know, like you said, no one likes that to be given. And again, the ref took that call saying that it's a final. Let's not mess it up. But that Madueke decision at that time, spot
yeah.
on,
Spot
spot
on.
on. Like imagine we were watching that. I was watching that with like 4, 5 Arsenal fans, and I was like, "Oh fuck, that's a pen." But then,
Yeah,
what a decision, right? It looked like Madueke just pulled him to the ground, and props to Madueke because that's the only time he even got through Nuno Mendes because Mendes was a bloody machine out there. But overall,
yeah.
man, overall, great decisions by the ref.
Yeah, I agree with you. And it's so poetic, right? That Arsenal, a team that, has not given away a penalty all season, loses on penalties. It's like proper poetic justice. And a team that has, I know all the Arsenal fans are going to hate me for this, but they have got so many decisions go in their favor, right? The amount of pulling and tugging they do in the penalty box, with corners and set pieces and stuff like that. So for them to lose in this way, it just felt like a little bit of poetic justice. And I got a lot of sadistic pleasure from watching Gabriel miss that penalty. That guy, phenomenal defender. I'm not taking away. He's a great defender. But the kind of dark arts and the cheeky shit he does in the penalty box while defending, the way when he gets pushed, he'll, like the smallest of pushes and he'll behave like, oh my God, I'm so hurt. And he will dive and this and that. But then he commits the cheekiest of fouls. So I felt like a little bit of justice was done. And yeah, I'm just happy, man, that Arsenal didn't do the double because these fans would have spoken about this season, like how if that happened.
Nah, if that happened, brother, I'm off Instagram, off Twitter, off WhatsApp. Because boss, there is no way a double. I saw videos where Arsenal fans were saying, obviously deluded Arsenal fans, there are deluded fans everywhere. But then one of the guys from AFTV was like, Arteta will be a better manager than Ferguson
Yeah,
if
bro.
Arteta
Just
gets the double. I
this
bro, listen, I
this is the level of delusion that we get mad at. It's like even that other clip had come out of Theo Walcott asking Wayne Rooney, "Oh, do you think this Arsenal team could beat your 2008 team?" And Rooney's like, "We'd fucking batter you. Shut up." So just the
yeah,
level
man,
of
jeez.
delusion, bro. That's what we get frustrated with. Like, if you weren't this deluded and you didn't make statements like this, I don't think we'd have problems with that fan base. It's just these statements.
Now, also, Shiv, I think it's the first time in a very long time I've seen like clubs from the other clubs just unite to hate watch. Like, it's
Yeah.
crazy. Like, I- I'm getting messages from you. I'm getting messages from Chelsea fans. I'm getting messages from Tottenham fans, Newcastle fans. They're like, fuck the Gunners, no double. So, it's a good moment, right? It's a good moment to be like united only for those 120
Yeah.
minutes. And it felt so nice, dude. Honestly, it felt so
Yeah,
nice.
the rest of European football seemed to be quite united. Um, but another thing that's been happening in France is the French Open, my friend, which we have been following, and some crazy, crazy results that have happened over the past week. First of all, Sinner losing in the most crazy circumstances, 2 sets to 1, 2 sets up, 5-2 up, I believe it was, or 5-1 up in the third set, and to lose from there. Karak, you watched that game. What happened?
This is I think we've had a chat about Sinner playing in the beautiful sunlight. He just I don't know how he always gets dehydrated and starts cramping. And this wasn't even cramping, Shiv. Like there was this incident. I want to touch on a couple of incidents in that game. The umpires come out and asked him, "What do you want to do? I'm gonna give you three, four options." Are you fucking kidding me? This is a
Yeah,
grand slam. It should be even. It should be even, Steven, out there. I was lost that, Sinner's getting offered a bloody buffet to be like, oh, do you want to go here? Do you want to go there? The rule states that if it's a cramp, you
Yeah,
don't bloody get a medical timeout. Simple as that.
correct.
He goes into the medic, he goes inside, goes to the bathroom, pukes whatever he had to puke, comes out. I'm like, bro, where is the consistency, number one? And number two, props to Serendolo. It's not so easy to play when someone is
Yeah.
injured. And when that someone is Yannick Sinner, to play that
Hmm.
way, to have that
Yeah.
composure, to just relax. And he upped his game in the middle, man. Like, I thought Sinner was smart enough to he downed his tool in the third set. Fourth set, he didn't run. So it looked like in the fifth set, he was getting better, like very reminiscent of what he did in the Australian Open. But then here, Serendolo just took it up a notch. He started dropping.
Yeah.
Surprising to see a player drop, because we have had this chat so many times when a player's injured, just drop the bloody ball.
Just
Finally,
drop. Yeah.
Summers is
Move him around the court, right? Basically.
exactly, and Serendolo used his brains. And bro, he deserved it. And I'm so happy that Sinner's out because what that umpire did irked me a little bit. So I watched that entire game because I was like, bro, if Sinner wins, that's a fucking joke. But Sinner lost, and we both had him at winning the entire bloody French Open in straight sets. And that kind
Yeah.
of opened up the draw for a certain someone looking for his 25th title. And tell me, Shiv, what the hell happened to Joko there, brother?
Yeah, I mean, second time he's lost from two sets to love up in a Grand Slam. Again, it's like once Sinner lost, I feel like the whole draw is sensing their opportunity, right? Especially draw Djokovic going for that magical number 25. And if you saw his press conference after, I think people asked him like, oh, wasn't this your chance, right, to get number 25? And he was clearly not in a mood to answer those questions. But yeah, I mean, full credit to Fonseca, though. What a tournament he's had so far. Playing some real fearless tennis, hitting the ball like an absolute bulldozer from the back of the court. And yeah, credit to him to come back from two sets to love down and to turn that game around. I mean, props to him, man. What have you made? Even beat Rude after that, which last night. What have you made of his tournament so far?
Man, Fonseca is playing tennis like Vaibhav Suryavanshi, man. Like, he's whacking that bloody ball like Vaibhav. I'm telling you, like, there was this point where when he was two sets to love down, after that, he just switched on. Any loose ball, bam, bazooka. And
Yeah,
Novak was just laughing because Novak was like, bro, is this guy ever going to miss? Because he was just whipping those forehands on and on and on. But I want to talk about his mental side, Shiv. 15 down, puts in four bloody beautiful first serves, three aces
yeah,
in to win that game in the end. And then when you go into the Casper Ruud game, he was just serving at 63%. It is
yeah.
unheard of for Fonseca because Fonseca this season has been awful. He lost in the first round in the Australian Open, lost in the
Hmm.
first round in the Rome Masters, made it to the second round in the Madrid Open. These are all clay court tournaments. And imagine
Yeah,
this, Shiv. He played in the Rio Open, which is his hometown open. He lost in the third round. So all I'm trying to say is that what confidence does to a person. And once you beat the legend, the GOAT, Novak Djokovic, you're just
yeah,
supremely confident enough to take on. And he's, listen, man, like, I've watched him play from round one. I never thought he'll even beat Joko. So whatever he's done,
yeah,
whatever he's doing right now, kudos to it. But man, it just feels like he's here. He's here right now, about fucking time. And I'm so happy to
yeah,
just watch someone other than Carlos and Sinner just smack that fucking ball. And bro,
yeah.
even against Casper Ruud yesterday, right? Bro, every shot ball, boom. So credit where it's due. I'm very happy for him. But let's see. Let's see if he gets Mensik next.
Yeah, it's feeling like a tournament of the youngsters now, right? With Fonseca, then you've got Mensik. These guys were playing like in the next gen tournament a couple of years ago. Then you've got Arnoldi, Koboli. I think who was in the top half? I'd love to see Tiafo also have a good run. I mean, I just admire the guy so much for his attitude and the way he is on court. A funny guy, like a good energy on court. But like they'll all be sensing like this. We're going to get a new Grand Slam winner, right? Essentially. So all of them will be smelling blood. One man in particular, Alexander Zverev, he's made three Grand Slam finals, lost all of them. I don't think you can get a more golden opportunity. And so far, he's been pretty good in the tournament. Do you think this is his moment?
Man, every in that bottom half, everybody is just busy playing for 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours, eight
Yeah,
hours. This man's just playing for 2 hours, finishing his game off, serving at 71%, first serves in 71%, hitting winners easily, just being consistent. So this is Zverev's title. He's been my dark horse for 5 years now. Every time you ask me that question, there's only one person I say, Zverev. So he's been supremely consistent. And there's his match that, okay, outside of the Grand Slam, right? He's won the most number of matches in the other tours. He's basically the number one player outside of the Grand Slams to potentially win a title, but he's never
yeah,
gotten there. And this is his chance. And then if you go look at the draw on top where Sinner was likely to bloody smack all of them, obviously lost. There's Berrettini, there's Arnaldi, there's Caboli, there is Serundolo. Now,
yeah,
what are these players? Like, I'm just like what I'm trying to take. Also, there's also Felix Auger Elisame. So one of them is going to reach the semis, Shiv, and that is crazy. And then if you go look at the draw below, you have Fonseca, you
Fonseca,
have you have Mensi,
Mensik.
you have Zverev. So Zverev only has to beat Fonseca, and I think Zverev has an easy chance to even get through whoever he has to face in the finals. So it looks like it's Zverev's title to win. But what have you just made of the clay court season, Shiv? This is the question I like to ask because when you go look at the Oz Open, when you go look at the Wimbledon, when you go look at the US Open, it's kind of straightforward, right? We just know that these hardcore guys will get to quarters or semis.
Yeah.
But what have you made of the men's side, especially the French Open this season? Has it
I
has
mean,
it changed your thoughts
you're
on?
saying all those tournaments were like straightforward. I mean, I was also thinking this tournament would be straightforward. Like Sinner was coming into this tournament on a 29 game winning streak. So I don't think anybody predicted him to lose in the second round like that, right? So I think the conditions have had a part to play, of course, but it seems like only Sinner is really, really affected by that. And I think going forward also, like all these players have had some really grueling 4 set and 5 set matches. Mensik has played back-to-back 5 set matches. He collapsed on court, I think, after round two. Fonseca has played a grueling 4 set match last night, grueling 5 set match against Djokovic. The two players who have really survived on court and not had, that much of a physical battle is Zverev, like you said, and Koboli. Both of them have only dropped 1 set each so far. And I think if they continue that run going forward, you could maybe see them going deep because I could think Berrettini and Cerundolo, who are playing tonight, they've also had multiple 5 set games that have gone deep, playing 4 or 5 hours. So just the fitness of these players in these sweltering hot conditions is going to come to the fore. And man, I think the draw is as open as it's ever been. You're saying Zverev is favorite. I would not put Zverev favorite still. I think Zverev can beat himself. He unfortunately that mental hurdle, that mental hurdle is always there with Zverev. If he can manage that, I do think he is the best player in the draw left. But I wouldn't put it past some newcomer like a Fonseca, just playing such fearless tennis, right, to come and do the job. But I can't predict right now. I want Tiafo to win, but that's just my heart wanting that. I think Koboli also could do it. Just it's so open right now. Should we
Yeah, man,
also
it's I
talk about
think
the women though, Karak?
yeah, man, the women's side of things, it's a problem, man. My baby Iga Swiatek got smacked by Maria Kostuk in straight sets. Iga's had a disastrous year, man. It's been a disastrous
Yeah,
12 months, not finding her feet. She's supposed to be doing so well in clay, and she's not been doing well at all. And then I think the match of the tournament so far has been Jovic versus Osaka. I think that was a banging
yeah.
game, 7-6, 6-7, 7-6. I thought Osaka, obviously, like, coming in like she's walking in the Milan Fashion Week or the Paris Fashion Week, but then the way she's hitting that ball, man, I think she's looking very, very good. And also, fun
Yeah.
fact, Shiv, finally, we're going to be seeing Sabalenka and Osaka play today in the night session. Wow, the French Open guys have had like a revelation. They're like, yeah, let's put the women there. But it's so sad, right? I can't believe I'm saying this, but this is like the second game so far in the last God knows how long that a women's match is being scheduled at the Philip Chartier Court at 11:45 Indian
Yeah.
time, which is the night session. How crazy is that?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't believe it when you told me, and I'm surprised. Like in the past French Opens, this hasn't really been. Maybe it has, and we've overlooked it, but it's been that it hasn't been a topic of conversation, right? Because in every other tournament, they balance the women's and men's fixtures out. And, sometimes the women get the night session, sometimes the men. And that's how it should always be, right? You can't just do it because, oh, you'll get longer games and this and that. You have to find solutions, whether you put one women's game and one men's game or however you do it. You got to find some solutions to it. But yeah, even my sweetheart, Coco Gauff, got eliminated, defending champion. So it seems like at least Sabalenka's chance is here now. The Tiger has not won this tournament before. So I think she will be smelling blood. Think she's hot favorite?
Hot favorite, yes, but then again, Shiv, with this women's side of the draw, there are a lot of players who are playing really well. Even today, I think Snyder beat Potapova beat Coco Gauff, so it's wide open. But again, Saba obviously, it all depends on how Osaka turns up or how Saba plays. Because if Osaka plays the way she played against Jovic, sorry, I think we're going to have a massive game on our hands. But obviously, like when you look at Sabas, just say Sabas the only one right now. Rubikina is also out. Rubikina got out in the second
Yeah.
round. So similar situations with respect to the men's side of things. But here, obviously, the top one seed Sabalenka is just in a different zone altogether. But it's going to be interesting, Shiv. Just imagine we get two different winners in the men's side and the women's side. That'll be great.
Yeah. Coming to that, should we make some quick predictions? Where we're getting into the second week of the French Open. This is probably going to be the toughest tournament to predict, especially on the men's side. Do you want to make a bold, hot take, juicy take?
My juicy take is that, the Italian man, the haughty who never gets naughty, Mr. Matteo Berrettini, to win the French Open.
Damn, Mr. Hugo Boss himself. Um, but Berrettini, yeah, I mean, I think he's made a Grand Slam final in the past. Right? I think he made a Wimbledon final some time ago.
Wimbledon final,
So yeah,
lost to Djokovic.
correct. Yeah, I mean, that would be a hot take for sure. Like I said, I don't think Zverev is going to win. So maybe one of these 19-year-old kids. I'm kind of stuck. Should I choose Fonseca or Koboli? I have a feeling Koboli might do it. So I'm going to stick with that take. Flavio
Koboli,
Koboli to
wow.
win the French Open this year.
Well, that's going to be
And
sick,
on
man.
the women's side, my friend?
I'm going to go with my beautiful Sweeto Pito. She's going to win it for Gail Monfils because Gail Monfils obviously played his final ever French Open game. Sweeto is going to play
Yeah,
Kostuk. Not an easy game, but man, if Sweeto wins it, man, listen, brother, it's gonna be crazy.
yeah. Women's side, this is a more straightforward prediction. I think this is going to be the lion roaring lion tiger, whatever you want to call her, Sabalenka to take it this year. But I think all the stories are on the men's side for now. We shall see as the tournament progresses. Maybe the women's side will throw up more surprises. So far, Coco and
Mhm,
Swiatek are gone, both our favorites. But yeah, it's been quite a interesting week of sporting action for us. And we've got a lot more
mhm.
coming up. The mother of all tournaments, the FIFA World Cup coming up very, very soon. We're going to be doing a couple of previewing some of the bigger teams, and then we'll also do maybe another episode to preview some of the dark horses and some of the teams that may go under the radar. So lots of action to come from the both of us. Any final words, Karak?
Shiv, I think before we go on, we're gonna talk about one thing, brother. We've forgotten completely. Arne slot. Ta ta ba
Yes,
ba
sir.
ba. Oh
Oh man.
man, before I go, what are your thoughts on that sacking, Shiv? I'd like to understand from a United perspective what you feel about this
I
sacking.
mean, I'm very disappointed. I would have loved to see Slot continue. I was enjoying. I mean, I wouldn't really. I mean, would you call it a downfall? You still finished in Champions League places, but I guess you have to have standards at your club. And from finishing top of the league last year to, did you finish fourth or fifth? Was it fourth or fifth? I can't remember, but you still got your Champions League spot in the end. Um, but yeah, standards are important at our clubs, and I think clearly he had lost the dressing room. I think you mentioned this on our post on Instagram also. Just the fight with Slot. I don't think the players were fully buying into his system. So probably the right call made at the end of the day, but I think the rest of the league is probably disappointed to see Slot go because I don't know. We just wanted to continue seeing the downfall of Liverpool, and maybe fifth became seven next year. But will be interesting. I think Iraola is now the favorite. Would you like to see him at your club?
Yeah, man, 100%. I think, just with Slot, the football just got really, 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 really bad. I just couldn't get myself to watch football. And then you have Viriola, who sold four of his back four last season, sold Semenyo in Jan, and then goes on an 18 match unbeaten run to finish sixth in the bloody Premier League, which is an outstanding result with that thin squad. And just the way they play a very good style of football. They like that pressing. They What I've heard from Bournemouth is that, just to like instill that philosophy of pressing, there were no days off for 4 months. For the first 4 months, there were no days off at all. And that's what we were missing, right? We were getting
Yeah.
outrun by every team. We're getting smashed by every team. We were giving out chances like bloody. You go to the temple and you get that prasad, we were like, yeah, come on, attack, come on, attack, come on, attack. So I just think Giriola just comes in, he tightens the screws, we get our fitness up, we run a lot more, and he stops playing Sabosla at right back.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think it'll be a good signing for you guys as for a manager, but also a big summer for you guys replacing Salah, replacing Robertson. So yeah, lots of transfer activity that's going to happen. We will talk about that also as the summer transfer window continues, but I think most of that action will happen post the World Cup, maybe here and there will be some action. But coming up next, we've got World Cup previews, lots of action still to come. So yeah, stay tuned, guys. Please like, share, subscribe. We are very close to 150 subscribers on YouTube. So please hit that subscribe button. And we are only 100 followers away on Instagram. That's our next target. So please follow us on Instagram because we have a lot more content coming through. So yeah, we will see you guys in the next one.